Okay, this video is about how to put in your masonry pilaster. That's something new in this project that you haven't seen before. And I've got one created here underneath this beam. I've hidden this wall, and I want to show you a couple of different ways to do these. I do not have one put in down here yet, so I want to show you that. I'm going to show you down there. So I go back to my floor plan. And here's the look. And I in the walls, just I go and tell you, I added the hatch pattern to this split face CMU material so that the hatch pattern would be the same as my regular block. Okay, there's a couple of different ways to do pilasters. One is to use what's known as an architectural column, and then you can assign material type to it, and it's supposed to cause the material and then the wall that you embed it into to wrap around it. Well, it does, but it wraps the finished surface of the wall to the finished surface of your pilaster instead of wrapping around the outside of the pilaster. And so you choose an architectural column, and I chose a rectangular column that I loaded, and then I edited it and called it CMU Pilaster. And I set my excuse me, I set my size. I tried this a couple of different ways. Um, 7 5/8 is going to be the size of a block. Okay, a half of a masonry block. So I set my size to that, and then I come in here and I place it. And now let's do some aligning. And you can see it put it in there, but it caused the material from the wall here to wrap to the inside of it, the finished size. I, I don't want to. I could change the size of my architectural column. I'm not sure how that would look in my views. We could try it that way if we edit the type of it and make it. I don't know. I'm just gonna make it 12 inches to see how it looks. Oop, wrong one. Okay, so in plan view that looks good, but in 3D it does not look good because it keeps that CMU material. So that's really not a viable option for us. Okay, but that if you were doing just a plain CMU wall with no wrapping around it, it would be fine. If you were doing a concrete wall, it would be fine. But we've got excuse me, metal furring and CM and gypboard wrapping around it, so this is not fine. So what I did back here, I took this wall and I just used my exterior masonry wall from the back that I have on the back wall. And I drew a little short piece of a wall that was 7 5/8 long. It's 7 5/8 wide here. And this is the length of the wall going in this direction. And I just used the plain masonry wall and I set it up centered, equal, dimensioned so that it's kind of locked on that grid line. And then I had created another wall type that is just metal furring and gypboard. And then after I got this in place, I drew my metal furring and gypboard and aligned it to the pilaster and then extended it into the gypboard and metal furring against the exterior wall. And then I had to do a little wall joining and some, not wall joining, but just a join to get those to come together. Okay. And it worked. That I think is considering our circumstance, that's going to be the best way to do it. So you just use your wall type that's across the north wall. Draw your wall 7 5/8 long, dimension it so that it stays centered on the building grid line, and then align it to the masonry wall, and it cuts into this furring, and then you draw this furring wall around it, and it will wrap and look good. Okay. Let me swing back around to the other view here. Okay, and now this pilaster, of course, goes from the footings and it goes up to the beam. I ran into a little issue with, for some reason, I haven't played with fixing it yet. Okay, I don't want to. As you're going to see as you're building this model, okay, don't get hung up on your interior gypboard yet as far as the finished heights of it, because you got a lot of stuff you're putting in. You got all these ledgers that are going in. You got these beams that are going in across the front wall here over the windows. Lots of things. And so all of my interior gypboard, I've just got them pulled down where I can see what I'm working with. After I get all my structure built, then I'll come back and start pulling my interior gypboard up to the heights that I need them. And most of them are going to be to the bottom of the ledger. Okay. Depending upon well, I said bottom of ledger. Bottom of truss is what we're saying in the specs is to how high the stud walls and the drywall will go. So bottom of truss will work, but I'm not concerned with getting that fixed yet until I get the trusses actually in. Okay. Of course, you will need to get them fixed before you put your acoustical ceiling in. So that's why you can see a lot of my stuff is kind of turned off. The drywalls are not down. We're running into some issues here. See, I've got lots of things done that I haven't fixed it and made it pretty yet, is what I'm trying to say to you, okay? But you want to take advantage of those wall types where you can move things up and down based on what you need. And on the inside, you need to be able to move your drywall up and down. And on the outside, you need to move your brick down. And for whatever reason, it picks up the brick pattern on the inside of the building when you do that. I haven't figured that one out yet when I actually have a block wall in there. Okay, and so that's how you do pilasters. If you got questions, come see me, shoot me an email.